a truth that will make you despair. You can never die. This isn't some superpower. It is the greatest curse the universe has placed on consciousness. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever had one of those experiences where you almost died? Like the time you narrowly avoided a truck crash, or the flower pot that almost fell on you from a high balcony. Actually, at that very moment, you did die. In some parallel world, your body is already being cremated. Your family is mourning at your funeral, but in your own consciousness, you just narrowly escaped. This is quantum immortality. In this theory, your consciousness will never disappear. Every time you face death, the world splits. One version of you dies and another continues to live. Even when the end of the world comes, when Earth explodes, if just one particle can sustain your life, your consciousness will be forcibly transferred to it. Even if at that point you're so old that all that's left of you is a pair of eyes, even if all of humanity has been wiped out and you're the last one left lying alone in the dark void of space, you will never escape loneliness, because the next part might make you lose sleep tonight. It might even make you question if your current existence is a dream. To understand this curse of immortality, we need to go back 100 years to explore the roots of the physics that even drove Einstein crazy. In our common sense, the world is deterministic. If you drop a glass cup on the floor, it shatters. There is no way it's both broken and whole at the same time. But in the microscopic world of quantum mechanics, things are completely out of control. In the early 20th century, physicists discovered that tiny particles like electrons seem to have a split personality. They can appear in two places at once. It's like this. Imagine you come home from work. In one place, you're sitting in the living room watching TV, and at the same time, you're cooking in the kitchen. It might sound like a case of schizophrenia, but it's actually one of the fundamental principles of quantum mechanics called superposition. So here's the question. If tiny particles can exist in multiple states at once, why do we only see one result in the macroscopic world? Why have you never seen a cat that's both dead and alive, or a glass that's both broken and intact? To explain this paradox, the famous physicist Niels Bohr gave an incredibly bold explanation, which became the Copenhagen interpretation. He said that before you observe the world, it exists as a fuzzy probability cloud full of possibilities. But once you observe it, once you measure it, those possibilities collapse and only one outcome remains. In other words, your observation kills off all other possibilities. This may sound idealistic, right? At the time, many people didn't believe it, especially Einstein. He famously said, "God does not play dice." While the physics world was in heated debate, in 1957, a young physicist from Princeton, Hugh Everett, proposed a far more radical theory, one that's logically flawless and that would push humanity into the abyss of quantum immortality. This young man was Everett, and he introduced the many worlds interpretation. Even if you're not into physics, you should listen because it directly affects your life and death. Everett believed that when you observe the world, the wave function doesn't collapse. The other possibilities don't disappear. Instead, the universe splits at that moment. Imagine you're holding a gun with a quantum trigger. Every time you pull the trigger, there is a 50% chance it will fire and a 50% chance it will jam. The moment you pull the trigger, the universe splits like a cell dividing. Click, it splits into two. In universe A, the gun fires and your head is blown off. Your body lies in a pool of blood. Your family comes rushing to your side, crying their hearts out as they bury you. But in universe B, the gun jams and you're left with a racing heart, realizing you're still alive. Your consciousness only perceives the universe where you're still alive. If this experiment continues, the universe splits again. Each time you pull in B1 universe, you die. But in B2 universe, the gun jams again, since your consciousness cannot enter the worlds where you've already died. From your own perspective, no matter how many times you pull the trigger, you will only ever hear the click of the jammed gun. Mathematically, the probability of this happening 100 times is almost zero. But in your subjective experience, you are the one lucky gambler who keeps winning. This is the famous thought experiment known as quantum suicide. You must understand this distinction. You won't die, but that doesn't mean others won't see you die. From an observer's perspective, most versions of you in the multiverse are long dead. Your grave is already overgrown with weeds. But in your own continuous stream of consciousness, you're like someone who has activated God mode, stuck in a time branch where you remain alive. Doesn't that sound like a good thing? Perhaps you think it means you've gained immortality, but that's where the true horror begins, because quantum immortality doesn't promise you live healthily. It only promises you'll keep on living. Imagine this. You're in a horrific car accident. In most parallel universes, you die right there. But in a few rare universes, your vital organs manage to avoid fatal damage. Your consciousness then gets transferred to these universes. In these universes, you might be paralyzed, burned over 90% of your body, blind and deaf, lying in an ICU with tubes inserted into you. Every second feels like a slow death, a never-ending agony. You try to end it all. You want to die, but whenever you attempt to end your life, the universe splits again. The branches where you die, you can't access. You're forced to remain in the branch where you're still alive, though in excruciating suffering. That's why I say this is the universe's most malicious curse, because death is supposed to be the final release for a living being, the end of pain. But quantum immortality denies you the right to live. It traps you between probability, forcing you to watch as your body decays, but never allowing you to truly close your eyes. Does it send a chill down your spine. Have you ever had a moment where you feel something's off about your current life? This leads us to the Mandela effect, the phenomenon that's left the internet in shock. Many people clearly remember that Nelson Mandela, the president of South Africa, died in prison in the 1980s, and some even recall watching his funeral on TV. But in our history, Mandela didn't die until 2013. Thousands of people have collective false memories. Physicists stay silent about this, but if we look at it through the lens of the many worlds interpretation, could it mean that the universe we're in may have experienced a cataclysmic event, such as a global nuclear war or a massive asteroid collision around 2012? In that original universe, humanity may have been wiped out, but in the split second of that disaster, our collective consciousness jumped to a safer parallel universe. That's why we carry memories from the old universe. It's the reason we're seeing the Mandela effect today. Think about it. When you were a child, were there moments where you narrowly escaped certain death? Maybe someone saved you from drowning, or you were jolted out of harm's way during an electrical shock. Is it possible that in most versions of the universe, that version of you is already gone? The fact that you're reading this, hearing my voice, is an example of survivor bias, a miracle. You are the only survivor in your own story, stepping on countless versions of yourself from parallel universes to get to today. But this is not the end game. If physical pain were the worst of it, perhaps it could be endured. But quantum immortality's most despairing part is facing the moment when the universe itself ends. According to the second law of thermodynamics, our universe will eventually reach thermal death. Over time, stars will burn out, black holes will evaporate, and all matter will decay. Ultimately, the universe will become a void of absolute zero. No energy flow, no light. This could happen in about 5 billion years. By then, humanity should have long been extinct. But don't forget, the curse on your consciousness demands it always exists in the living branches. When your body can no longer be sustained, and even atoms begin to decay, quantum mechanics might play an even more bizarre trick. The Boltzmann brain. In the endless void, the random fluctuations of particles could, with an exceedingly low probability, converge to form a brain with self-awareness. Though this probability is lower than winning the lottery 100 million times. In eternal time, if the chance isn't zero, it must happen. That brain floating in the void will have all